Friends, this is an emergency update. There is going to be a serious shock hitting the beef market like in the next week. It's happened, just happened right now. We're getting this information out to you right now. We got a emergency update on shutdown of cattle, live cattle coming from Mexico. This happened before, and we saw immediate price spikes for beef across the United States, and it has happened again. Plus, we got another thing in the wings that's about to hit the beef market as well. Friends, you need to be getting prepared. We're going to walk you through that. We're going to walk you through some other options and some other things of what you can do about that in order to get prepared. We also have some deals out there. It's the last day of Amazon Prime Day, so I know it's like 4 days long, but Amazon Prime Day is still here. I got a couple deals I want to share with you that I think really could help you out. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are the things the mainstream media just isn't covering out there. First thing is they're not covering the beef shortage at all. They're not covering that, and they're not covering deals like this one. Previously in this week, I shared with you a Life Straw deal from Amazon, but actually I just found a coupon code that knocks another 10% off. So if you've been wanting Life Straws, or if you just want to stockpile them for trading purposes, they last indefinitely. So down in the pinned comment down below, check out the link to Life Straw. Make sure you take the code. It's SlickPD10. Go on to when you do your checkout with it in your basket. Make sure you type in the SlickPD10, all caps, or just copy the code over and take it with you, and make sure you put that in there. That takes down the Life Straws down to $8 a piece, $8.03. So you can't beat that. What kind of pure water can you get for $8? So that's a really great deal. I picked up a few of them myself. Anyway, that's a great deal for you down in the pinned comment down below. But Life Straws. Anyway, let's get here into the news. There are other Amazon Prime Day deals. A whole bunch of them. I had a video that I did earlier in the week covering a lot of the ones that kind of are useful for stocking up and such. All right, so what just happened? All right, now we've been seeing this screwworm popping up in Mexico. Now, the New World screwworm is extremely infectious. It's not so much that the beef becomes tainted, it's that the cattle give it to other cattle. And it's kind of like hoof and mouth disease, except without the problems to humans at the end of the beef cycle, right? So cattle herds in the United States, the beef herd in the United States is at 1950s level. We have less cattle now than we did in any of the years all the way back to 1950. And if you don't see a problem with that, we can send you back to math class. Okay, math is that we have a lot more people in the country and less beef, less cattle. Now, we can overcome some of that by importing beef. We can rebuild the livestock herd by importing cattle. But one of the cheapest places to import cattle from so that we can rebuild the herds is from Mexico. But Mexico has the screwworm. And if we bring the screwworm across the border into Texas or into the United States, it's going to infect the rest of the herds in the U.S., and that's going to be a huge, huge nightmare. We don't need that. So first thing that we need to talk about is the possibility that the New World screwworm has already gotten into the United States, and we just haven't detected it yet. It burrows into the hides of the cattle. It goes out in their poop. It goes everywhere. These screwworms do fly from cattle to cattle and can lay their eggs in the next cattle, and that makes them extremely infectious. So we have that happening. We have a threat of the screwworm coming into the United States. Now, when the screwworm embeds itself into these cattle, they do get sick and they can die from it. So dead cattle, you're not supposed to slaughter them, right? You're not supposed to cut them up for beef. So dead cattle is going to be a big problem. And the fact that this is so infectious, we have the question of, have we shut down the border too slowly? Are there cattle inside the United States that are infected with screwworm already? That could be a death blow to American beef. So that's one issue there. Second issue is just the border being closed to all live cattle. Now, this is not just to cows and such, but we're also talking about buffalo and other and horses as well. So cattle, bison, and horses. So none of these can move across the border. That's going to cause some problems. Not as many problems as if we have the screwworm here, which is why we're making this decision. But it means that the rebuilding of the American herds is going to take a lot longer. And while JBS out there was saying that we've already turned the corner, or we're going to be turning the corner sometime in, let's see what they said here. We're rebuilding the cattle stage, and it should only take somewhere to the tune of six plus years to rebuild the cattle herd back to a sustainable level. That's kind of what we're seeing, peak to trough. If this is the bottom today, which I suspect they're wrong on that. I believe that they're wrong. I think that we're going to see the cattle herd in the U.S. continue to drop. And this is not because soy burgers have become so delicious and so wonderful. No. I'll talk about it in just a little bit, but one of the best ways I think to get stocked up on beef, if you need that in your stockpile, is a freeze-dried beef. And I think the best one out there is Prepper beef. So you can check that out down the pinned comment down below if you want to shop around. They have a sale going on right now. If you use the code that's down there, Poplar15, that will get you a nice deal there as well. I'll just toss it out there before we go much further, because some of you guys are like, that gets you 25% off, okay? And if you set it up as a subscription, it gets you another like 5 or 10% off. Right now, so that's a great deal right there. These are big chunks of beef. I love it. I love it. When I rehydrate it, it tastes just like a cooked steak. Now it's brown all the way through because it's already pre-cooked. But believe me, when the apocalypse comes, you're going to want to have some fresh steak. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so. The cattle herd, extremely small in the United States. We can't restock from Mexico, and I don't know if you looked at a map recently, but you probably are familiar with the fact that the only ways to get stuff into the United States is, via land, is from Mexico or from Canada. Now, we don't have the border closed with Canada yet, but Canada is having its own problems with its herd. They got a lot of legislation and a lot of red tape up there. Plus, we're hitting them with tariffs. So now the obvious question is, okay, so we don't have beef here in the United States, but we can just import beef from somewhere else. Well, the place where we import the most beef from, putting aside Mexico and Canada, is Brazil. And we just heard this week that President Trump is going to hit Brazil with a 50% tariff. So some of JBS is actually from Brazil, and they do import a fair amount of beef from Brazil. Not only canned beef, you've seen the corned beef cans. A lot of them are from Brazil, but then you also have fresh or frozen beef coming from Brazil, and this is a big problem, because all that beef is going to be slapped with a 50% tariff. Like in a week or two, in two weeks, we're going to see all that beef get hit with a 50% tariff, And all these other tariffs are going back into place, which is going to hit a lot of our other options for getting beef. Beef prices are about to explode, friends. We're going to see a jump up over the next couple of days because of the screwworm shutdown with Mexico. Then we're going to see the tariff hike come in as well. We've been making up for not having enough cattle in the United States by slaughtering them faster. So we're basically continuing to draw down the herd size, and that's going to continue to accelerate into the fall. That's what the ranchers are saying out there, that the ranchers are going to have to make a decision to liquidate their cattle before the fall because hay is becoming so expensive in most areas of the country. And we have an alarm here for something. Don't worry, we're safe. It's an Amber Alert. I keep shutting that off, but every time the phone updates it, it turns those activations back on. Anyway, so we need to be talking about the beef prices are going to go through the roof because of inflation as well as the tariffs and the herd shutdown, herd size. But as we go into this fall, that's where we're going to really see the U.S. market really kind of go crazy because all the people that liquidate their herds going into the fall are not, if they chose not to, they're not going to suddenly start selling unless the price goes up dramatically. And then they're probably still not going to want to do it because they're going to be using a lot of the cows in order to birth out new calves in the spring, right? Because calves are getting a bit expensive here in the U.S., and suddenly we can't import them from Mexico anymore, so that's going to make things a little more difficult for everybody. All right, so what do we do about it? Well, first thing you can do is go out and grab some beef right now. So get out to the stores before everyone else knows what's going on and stock up on beef. Get that into your freezer. If you've got room in your freezer, stock up your freezer. If you're a canner, you can can up some ground beef, can up some cheaper cuts of beef, or if you want to go get some nicer stuff, go for it. But usually canning is better for the cheaper cuts of stuff. But what we're seeing the price impact the most is we're seeing the lower end cuts of beef are the ones being impacted by the price increases the most. Ground beef is going up dramatically, and we're seeing that lower cuts, cheaper cuts of beef are going up in price. In fact, you may actually be able to find nicer cuts of beef that have been discounted because nobody has the money to buy such expensive beef. So a lot of these retailers are having to liquidate more expensive cuts of beef at lower prices while the cheaper cuts are getting more expensive. That doesn't make the cheaper cuts more expensive than the more expensive cuts. It just kind of brings them more closer to the middle. So if you're looking for fancier cuts, this is the time to stock up on those things. So refill your freezers, refill your cans. If you're canning, do that. If you're not into canning, you can always pick up Keystone beef. Keystone beef is starting to disappear out there. I'm starting to see reports, and I saw at my own Walmart they had no canned ground beef. That's a problem. I can't stock up if they don't have it. So we're going to be seeing problems with that as people start realizing what's going on. At first, when I was warning you about the egg shortage, there were still eggs on the shelf. You could get stocked up. You could have gotten ahead of that, and a bunch of you guys did. Once again, hear that warning that we're here. We've been warning that we're coming there, and I've been surprised that we haven't hit there earlier. But now we're going to hit the beef shortage in a mean way in the next little bit here. Expect to see prices on beef go up $1 or more, and then it's going to just keep on going up. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. So if you like beef, get stocked up now. And this probably going to start impacting other alternative meats. Pork will probably be impacted as well. Now, we're not seeing the same shortages out there, but as beef gets expensive, people are going to switch over to pork. They're going to eat more pork. They're going to eat more chicken. And we're already seeing chicken shortages out there for who knows what reason on that one. I'm not quite sure why we have chicken issues out there. It's not because of the herd size, I don't think, but supply chain issues. We got the slaughterhouses, we got the butcher houses are not functioning great. We got the big conglomerates are shutting down a bunch of these processing facilities, and the independent processors out there are not looking good. All right, so canned beef, if you can get the canned beef, definitely be reaching out to local butchers or local farmers who are linked up with butchers to buy your own quarter of a cow, half a cow. Get beef from local farmers if possible and local butchers. That's a way around some of this shortage. But those prices are going to be going up significantly in the near future. So lock in your prices now if you can. And then there's the option of freeze-dried. I really like prepper beef. If you've ever had like the cans of freeze-dried beef, that's a way to go, like Mountain House or whatever. But it's like beef crumbles, right? Beef chunks, like steak, it's like a cut up steak. Prepper beef is, plus I don't really trust Mountain House where they source their beef from. I know the guys that put these together, I know that they're sourcing from ranchers inside Texas and all in the United States. They're making sure that they're not being injected with the hormones and stuff. So this is a big deal. You can go check their website out and they'll tell you all about what promises they have and where they're sourcing their beef from and such. But the freeze-dried beef, shelf stable, they say 10 plus years. It's on the plus side of that, okay? It's freeze-dried. It lasts basically indefinitely as long as you store it properly. All right, friends, I'll put that link down the description, or the description, as well as the pinned comment down below. Life straws are in the pinned comment down below. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. This is the warning I'm giving you. I kind of gave you some heads up that might be coming, and the answer is yes. Yes, it's coming. With this shutdown of the border, plus the tariffs on Brazil, we're going to get into it real fast in the next couple weeks. All right, friends, hopefully you get a chance to stock up and get ahead of this thing. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. If you want to go straight to Prepper Beef, their website, go here, but make sure you use the code Poplar15 at checkout. It gets you 25% off. If you just use the code on the website there that they offer you, it's only 15% off. But if you use Poplar15, it actually gets 25%, and make sure you use the subscription option, and then you can cancel your order after that. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.